Hello, dear learners, and welcome back to the JISH Learn English Podcast. I'm Shaylin, and I'm truly happy to have you here with me today. In our last video, we talked about where you live, the city, the suburbs, and the type of building. But today we are going to unlock the front door and go inside. We are going to learn how to answer the question, what is your place like? Most students answer this by simply making a list. They say, I have a kitchen, I have a bed, I have a sofa. While that is correct, it sounds a little bit like a robot. To sound fluent, you need to be able to give a tour of your home. You need to describe the layout, the atmosphere, and exactly where the furniture fits. Here is our plan for this video. First, we will listen to a conversation between Mark and Sarah again. This time, Sarah is giving Mark a tour of her new apartment. Second, I will teach you the specific vocabulary for rooms and furniture, and we will fix a very common grammar mistake, the difference between saying it has and there is. Third, we will practice speaking together with a shadowing exercise to perfect your pronunciation. And finally, we will play a game where you take part in the conversation and describe a room yourself. Before we begin, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss the next lesson. And please leave a comment. Tell me, what is your favorite room in your house? Is it the kitchen, the bedroom? I love reading your answers. All right, let's jump right in. Mark has just arrived at Sarah's apartment. Let's listen to the tour.
Hello, I'm so glad you made it.
Hey, Sarah, long time no see. Happy housewarming. Here, I brought you a small plant for the new place.
Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you. Come on in, get out of the cold. Did you find the building okay?
Yeah, the directions were perfect, but the parking downtown is a nightmare. I had to circle the block twice.
Ugh, tell me about it. That is the only bad thing about living in the city center. Anyway, come in. You can just kick your shoes off here in the entryway. There's a little rack for them right there.
Got it. Wow. Okay, first impression, this place is huge compared to your old apartment.
Right? It feels so much bigger because it has high ceilings. Let me take your coat. I'll hang it in the hall closet.
Thanks. Man, look at this light.
I know, that's why I rented it. Because it's on a higher floor, it has an amazing view of the skyline. Come check it out.
That is incredible. You can see the whole park from here. And I really like how you set up the living room. This sofa looks brand new.
It is. I actually just got it last week. It's a little big, but it's perfect for movie nights.
It fits the space perfectly, and there is plenty of room for this coffee table, too. It doesn't feel crowded at all.
Exactly. I wanted to keep it simple. I didn't want it to look cluttered.
Well, it looks great. Very modern.
Thanks. Hey, can I get you a drink? I have water, juice, or I can make some coffee.
Water's fine for now, thanks.
Grab a seat at the island.
This kitchen is nice, Sarah. I love an open concept. You can cook and watch TV at the same time.
Yeah, and it has so much storage. My old place had no cupboards, but here there are cabinets everywhere. I finally have space for all my pots and pans.
And is that a dishwasher?
Yes, finally. No more washing dishes by hand. That was a deal breaker for me.
Lucky you. So what is down that hallway? I see a couple of doors.
So the first door on the right is the bathroom. It's pretty standard, though it has a nice big bathtub. And the door at the very end is my bedroom.
Nice. And what's the other door, the one on the left?
Ah, that's the spare room. Right now, I'm using it as a home office. Since I work from home twice a week, I really needed a quiet space with a desk.
That is smart. It's good to keep work separate from the relaxing areas.
Exactly. When I'm in the living room, I don't want to think about emails.
Well, I have to say, you did a great job. It really feels like a home.
Thanks, Mark. I'm really happy here. Here's your water. Now tell me, how is your job going?
All right, you just listened to a natural conversation between Mark and Sarah. If you didn't understand every single word, do not worry. That is exactly why I am here. We are going to break this dialogue down, piece by piece. We will start with the polite phrases, then we will fix a major grammar rule, and finally, we will walk through the apartment room by room to master the vocabulary. Let's start with how they greeted each other. Did you notice how Mark said hello? He didn't just say hi, he said, "Happy housewarming!" This is a very useful phrase. We only use this when someone has moved into a new home. A housewarming is a party to celebrate the new house with friends. So, if your friend moves to a new apartment, you don't say, "Congratulations on the house." You say, "Happy housewarming." It sounds much more natural. Then, Sarah replied with a phrase you will hear constantly in American culture. She said, "Come on in." This is a phrasal verb. She could just say, "Enter," but enter sounds like a robot. Come on in is warm and inviting. It tells the guest they are welcome. There is actually one more phrase that is very common in this situation. Sarah didn't say it this time, but you should know it. It is, "Make yourself at home." This means, relax. You don't need to be formal. You can sit down and feel comfortable. If you visit an American home, you will hear this often. Now, let's look at Sarah's next question. After welcoming Mark inside, Sarah asked the number one small talk question we use when someone visits our home. She asked, "Did you find the building okay?" She wasn't asking if the building was hiding or hard to see. She was asking about Mark's journey. Was the traffic bad? Were the directions clear? Was it stressful to get there? It is a polite way to check if your guest had a stressful journey. Now, before we look at the furniture, we have to talk about grammar. I want to teach you the difference between "it has" and "there is." This is the number one mistake I hear from students. In many languages, you translate directly and say, "The living room has a sofa." Now listen carefully. That sentence is not wrong, but to a native speaker, it sounds a little unnatural. It sounds like a list. Here is the secret rule to sounding fluent. We use "it has" for the permanent features of the room, the things you cannot move. Mark said, "It has high ceilings." Sarah said, "It has an amazing view." These are parts of the building. You cannot take the ceiling with you when you move. But for the objects inside the room, the furniture and decorations, we use "there is" for one thing, or "there are" for many things. So instead of saying "the kitchen has a table," you should say "there is a table in the kitchen." Instead of saying "the room has cabinets," say "there are cabinets everywhere." Think of it this way. "It has" describes the skeleton of the house. "There is" describes what you put inside it. Okay, now let's take the tour. We are going to visualize Sarah's apartment together. When Mark first walked in, he was in the entryway. Sometimes we call this the entrance hall. This is the small space right inside the front door. Mark asked about his shoes. Sarah told him to put them on the rack. A shoe rack is a small shelf specifically for holding shoes. And what did Sarah do with his coat? She put it in the hall closet. A closet is a small enclosed space for hanging things. A hall closet is specifically for coats and jackets. This is different from a bedroom closet, which is for your shirts and pants. Next, Mark walked into the main area and said he loves the open concept. This is a very popular term in modern English. Open concept means there are no walls separating the living room from the kitchen. It is one big, open space. Mark mentioned the room feels big because of the high ceilings. The ceiling is the roof of the room inside. If it is high, the room feels spacious. Spacious here means the place has a lot of open space, so it does not feel small, tight, or crowded. There is enough room to move around comfortably with wide areas, high ceilings, or fewer things blocking the space. He also liked that the room was not cluttered. Cluttered is a great adjective. It's the opposite of tidy. If you have magazines, toys, and cups everywhere, your room is cluttered. Sarah likes her room clean and simple. Now, look at the furniture. Mark sat on the sofa. Remember, sofa and couch are basically the same thing. You can use both words. But did you notice what was in front of the sofa? Mark mentioned a coffee table. This is essential vocabulary. A coffee table is the low, long table in the middle of the living room. We put drinks and magazines on it. We never call this a dining table or a desk. It is always a coffee table. Mark also looked down and admired the rug. This is a vocabulary trap. Do you know the difference between a rug and a carpet? In the US, a carpet covers the entire floor from wall to wall. It's glued down. A rug is a piece of fabric that just covers part of the floor. You can roll it up and move it. Sarah has a rug. Next, let's move to the kitchen. Sarah invited Mark to sit at the island. In modern kitchens, an island is the counter in the very middle of the room. You can cook on it or sit at it on a high stool. Mark was very impressed by the storage. He used two words, cupboards and cabinets. Are they different? A little. Cabinet is the general word for storage boxes made of wood. Cupboard is specifically for storing cups, plates, and food. Honestly, in the kitchen, you can use both words. Mark used both. Then, Mark pointed to a machine and asked, "Is that a dishwasher?" This is the machine that washes your plates automatically. It is a lifesaver. If you don't have one, you have to wash dishes by hand in the sink. Finally, let's look at the rooms down the hallway. First, there is the bathroom. Mark noticed it had a bathtub. If there is no bathtub and the water just sprays from the top, we call it a shower. Then, Sarah mentioned the master bedroom. This is the main room where she sleeps. But she also has a second room. She called it the spare room. Spare means extra. You might call it a guest room if friends sleep there, but Sarah told Mark she uses it as a home office. This is very important for modern English. A home office is a room dedicated to working, usually with a desk and computer. So, let's review the map of the house. She entered the entryway, walked through the open concept living room, past the island and the dishwasher, and walked down the hallway to the spare room. You have learned so much in just a few minutes. You moved from simple words to describing an open concept apartment with high ceilings. I want you to take a moment and feel proud of yourself. When you use specific words like coffee table instead of just table or hall closet instead of just place for coats, you sound precise and intelligent. Now, the best way to remember these rooms is to use them. So, in the next part of this lesson, we are going to do a shadowing exercise.
I have chosen 10 sentences that use the vocabulary and grammar rules we just learned. I will say each sentence 3 times. The first time, I will say it very slowly so you can hear every sound. The second time, I will say it at a normal speed. And the third time, I will say it fast, just like a native speaker. I want you to repeat after me every single time. Do not just listen, speak out loud. Are you ready? Let's go.
Come on in and leave your coat in the entryway.
Come on in and leave your coat in the entryway. Come on in and leave your coat in the entryway. I love this apartment because it is an open concept. I love this apartment because it is an open concept. I love this apartment because it is an open concept. There is a comfortable sofa in the living room. There's a comfortable sofa in the living room. There's a comfortable sofa in the living room. My coffee table is in front of the TV. My coffee table is in front of the TV. My coffee table is in front of the TV. The kitchen has a lot of cabinets for storage. The kitchen has a lot of cabinets for storage. The kitchen has a lot of cabinets for storage. There is a dishwasher next to the sink. There is a dishwasher next to the sink. There's a dishwasher next to the sink. Please take your shoes off. There is a rug on the floor. Please take your shoes off. There is a rug on the floor. Please take your shoes off. There's a rug on the floor. Excellent work. Take a breath. Can you feel that? Your pronunciation is getting sharper and your rhythm is sounding more natural. Now we have reached the final and most exciting stage of our episode. We are going to take all the words, the grammar, and the phrases you just practiced, and we are going to test them in a real simulation. We are going to do a role play. In this game, I want you to imagine that you are Sarah. You are standing in your new apartment. I will play the voice of Mark. I am going to ask your questions about your home. When it is your turn to speak, I will show the text on the screen. I want you to read it aloud to answer me. Don't be shy. Pretend I am really there in the room with you. Are you ready to give me the tour? Let's begin.
Hey, Sarah, long time no see. Happy housewarming. Here, I brought you a small plant for the new place. Yeah, the directions were perfect, but the parking downtown is a nightmare. I had to circle the block twice. Got it. Wow. Okay, first impression, this place is huge compared to your old apartment. Thanks. Man, look at this light. That is incredible. You can see the whole park from here. And I really like how you set up the living room. This sofa looks brand new. It fits the space perfectly, and there is plenty of room for this coffee table too. It doesn't feel crowded at all. Well, it looks great, very modern. Water's fine for now, thanks. This kitchen is nice, Sarah. I love an open concept. You can cook and watch TV at the same time. And is that a dishwasher? Lucky you. So, what is down that hallway? I see a couple of doors. Nice. And what's the other door, the one on the left? That is smart. It's good to keep work separate from the relaxing areas. Well, I have to say, you did a great job. It really feels like a home.
That was fantastic! Giving a tour of a house in a second language is not easy. You have to think about the grammar, the vocabulary, and the polite phrases all at the same time. But you did it. You sounded natural, confident, and polite. Let's quickly recap what you achieved today. You didn't just learn a list of words, you learned the geography of a home. You learned how to welcome a guest with "come on in" and "happy housewarming." You mastered the specific vocabulary for things like the entryway, the spare room, and the difference between a rug and a carpet. And most importantly, you fixed that tricky grammar rule. You now know that the building has features, but there is furniture inside it. That small change will make you sound so much more advanced in your next conversation. If you enjoyed this tour, please give this video a huge thumbs up. It really helps me know what kind of lessons you like. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a lesson. Now, I have a question for you to answer in the comments below. What is the one piece of furniture you cannot live without? Is it your cozy bed, your coffee machine, or maybe your comfortable sofa? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for inviting me into your study time today. You are doing an amazing job, so please be proud of your progress. Keep learning, enjoy your time at home, and most importantly, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.